Have you ever noticed that life always seems to be going well until something bad happens? You're cruising along in your car, enjoying the music, feeling great about yourself, and then bam, all of a sudden, you get rear-ended, and now, God, you re-stuck on the side of the road waiting for the police to show up while you assess all of the damage, both to the car and yourself. Or maybe you've just finished a delicious meal. You're sitting at the table with friends and family. Everyone is laughing and having a good time, and then bam, the food starts to rise like a tidal wave from your stomach, and you run to the bathroom to puke your guts out into the porcelain bowl. Life can feel like a series of pleasant moments broken up by painful experiences. As a kid, we don't really think too much about death. We know it's going to happen eventually, but it's something that we associate with older people, like our grandparents or great-grandparents. This changes, though, when someone close to us dies. If this person is someone very close to us, like a parent, sibling, or child, this experience can be so overwhelming that it completely changes the way that we view the world around us. In fact, if you've never experienced the death of someone close to you, you might think that I'm exaggerating how meaningful this experience can be. But there are certain moments in life that shape us forever, and this is one of them. So why does this happen? Why do we not really think much of death until we personally experience the death of someone close to us? Well, according to Viktor Frankl, it's because death gives life meaning. But why does it feel like a punishment? The first thing that you might notice is that death forces you to re-evaluate the meaning of life. Before the death, you lived your life according to certain beliefs and values. You had certain goals, ambitions, and dreams. But after the death, things start to look different. You begin to question what it was all about. Was it worth it? Was it all just an exercise in futility? Or perhaps you've come to the conclusion that life has no inherent meaning at all. Regardless of which perspective you find yourself adopting, your worldview is shifted on its axis. There's a before and after in your life that separates two distinct periods of your existence. Furthermore, death also forces you to reevaluate the people in your life. Who are the people you want to surround yourself with moving forward? Who brings positivity into your life, and who brings negativity? Who do you want to keep in your life, and who do you need to cut ties with? When we lose someone close to us, we start to evaluate our relationships through the lens of mortality. We realize that none of these people are guaranteed to be in our lives forever. They could leave at any moment. This realization can be a painful one, but it can also be a motivating one. It can inspire us to make the most of the time we have with the people who matter most to us. And lastly, death also forces us to reevaluate ourselves. Who are we? What do we believe in? What's important to us? These are some of the questions we start to ask ourselves when we experience the death of someone close to us. Maybe we realize that we're more spiritual than we thought. Maybe we decide to become more religious. Or maybe we simply become more in touch with our emotions. Whatever the case may be, death has a way of stripping us down and forcing us to confront the most important questions in life. So that answers the first part of the question, but why does this feel like a punishment? Death feels like a punishment because it represents loss. Loss of potential, loss of happiness, loss of hope. It can feel like the universe is against us, like we're being punished for no reason of our own. On top of that, death is also associated with a lot of negative emotions. Grief, guilt, shame, fear. All of these emotions can be incredibly overwhelming, and they can make it feel like death is a curse, something to be avoided at all costs. Additionally, death is also associated with a lot of practical problems. If someone close to you has died, you're probably dealing with a lot of logistical issues right now, such as funeral arrangements, estate matters, or even just trying to take care of your day-to-day responsibilities. All of these things can feel like a huge burden, especially when you're already feeling grief-stricken. In short, death comes with a lot of baggage, and it can feel like a punishment, especially when you're not expecting it. On top of that, when someone close to us dies, we often feel guilty. Guilty that we didn't do more when we had the chance, guilty that we said the wrong thing, guilty that we were there when they died. Whatever the case may be, these feelings of guilt can be incredibly toxic, and they can eat away at our mental and emotional well-being. Finally, last but certainly not least, when someone close to us dies, we're forced to confront our own mortality. We realize that none of us are truly immortal, and that we all gonna die sooner or later. This realization can be incredibly jarring, and it can make us feel like death is a punishment. After all, who wants to be reminded of their own mortality? However, there's another way of looking at this. Instead of seeing death as a punishment, what if we saw it as an opportunity for growth? As we said earlier, death forces us to reevaluate many aspects of our lives, including our beliefs, our values, and the people in our lives. This can be incredibly painful, but it can also be incredibly liberating. When we lose someone close to us, we're given the opportunity to create a new life, a life that's more authentic, more meaningful, and more connected to the people who matter most to us. Of course, this is easier said than done. Grief is a complex and messy process, and it takes time to heal. But it is possible to emerge from the grieving process stronger and more resilient than ever before. In fact, many people who have experienced the death of a loved one say that it was the most traumatic event of their lives. But it was also the most transformative. They learned more about themselves, about life, and about the people around them during that difficult time than they ever did before. If you're currently going through the grieving process, please know that you're not alone. And it's okay to feel however you're feeling. Allow yourself to grieve, allow yourself to heal, and know that it will get better with time. You will find ways to honor the memory of your loved one while still living a full and meaningful life. Ultimately, death is a part of life, something we can't avoid and something we can't control. But that doesn't mean that we have to let it control us. We have the power to choose how we respond to death, how we remember our loved ones, and how we move forward in our lives. So choose wisely. And if you found this video helpful, we'd be grateful if you could leave us a like or comment. Your support helps us continue exploring these important topics and reaching more people with our message. Thanks for watching.